morning, I'm Sammy St. Jean. Thanks for joining us for Mornings on the Hill.
And I'm Zach Richter. Let's take a look at today's top story.
In just 24 hours, President Joe Biden will be in Syracuse to see the Micron technology plans himself. He'll be at Onondaga Community College in their SRC Arena, an event center, and with remarks expected to begin at 3:30 in the afternoon.
Some Clay residents are unhappy about the $100 billion deal. Others have already left Onondaga County. Many don't wait to leave their homes, but the microchip company says the deal will bring billions to the community.
Remembrance scholars are looking back and acting forward this year. This Remembrance Week felt a bit different after a scholar uncovered anti-Semitic material.
Our Mornings on the Hill reporter Isabel Flores joins us live from the Wall of Remembrance with more. Isabel?
Thanks, guys. I'm reporting live here at the Remembrance Wall. Now, this Remembrance Week was last week, but it was a little bit different. Remembrance scholars who are in charge of putting together ceremonies to honor the lives of those that died in the Pan Am 103 flight were going through the archives and found some disturbing content. It turns out one of the students who lost his life in the accident was exchanging anti-Semitic letters with his mother, even including a symbol of a swastika. While this did loom over this year's ceremonies, there was the traditions that were celebrated as usual.
Festivities commenced on Friday as usual during the roast ceremony at the Remembrance Wall. Students placed roses on the wall to honor those that had passed in the Pan Am 103 flight in 1988. Zach Blackstock was one of 2 Lockerbie students chosen to represent the 11 students from Lockerbie, Scotland, who passed in the incident.
Looking through the archives here in Syracuse and hearing the stories from people I knew back in Lockerbie, including my own parents, has given me a much better grasp on not only how devastating the disaster itself was, but how difficult it must have been on an individual level for each person who lost family, friends, neighbours and homes in such an unexpected situation.
The ceremony was full of emotion. The impact of the tragedy showed in the ceremony, but brought people together in a show of support.
Currently, the Remembrance scholars are using this incident to make sure that they stand up and stop all forms of hate. Reporting live from the Remembrance Wall, I'm Isabel Flores with Mornings on the Hill.
Thanks, Isabel. The Syracuse city government is taking action to prevent lead poisoning. Mayor Ben Walsh announced that Keenan Lewis will be at the new lead paint program. He'll lead the program, and the program will review lead paint cases and enforce paint violations. This comes after Onondaga County Executive Ryan McMahon announced almost a $9 million plan to prevent lead poisoning.
Isn't it sexy to be transparent with your partner? Our Mornings on the Hill reporter Micah Prine Goldstein joins us now with more on this new student-run magazine that focuses on sex positivity. Micah?
Thanks, guys. Moody magazine is a new student-run publication that wants you to appreciate yourself. Focusing on self and sex positivity, the magazine offers a unique spin on an otherwise misunderstood, raunchy industry.
Yeah, we wanted to create a place, we always say this, we wanted to create a place where people are comfortable to talk about the uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
Bull and Looters say they want to bring a heightened focus on transparency to media and hope their work brings out the best in people.
I would say if you're looking at Moody magazine as a pornographic magazine that you're about to enter into, you're looking at a completely wrong perspective. You have to actually read the magazine and see the content that's being presented to you, and you'll understand.
The magazine now features 110 staff members, including some from Australia and the Netherlands.
So I want...
okay, yeah. Got it.
The fall issue of Moody magazine drops on December 1st. This coming edition focuses on sexual straightforwardness and pushes against the run-of-the-mill hookup culture. Bull and Luder say they want readers to feel the writing and are confident you will come out a better person after doing so. For more information, visit their Instagram at Moody Magazine, spelled MOODYMAGZINE. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Micah Prine-Goldstein. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Micah. Now turning to the weather today, we have had a really warm week.
Yeah, it is. It is bikini weather if I've ever heard it, in the middle of October at least.
And our Mornings on the Hill reporter Kennedy Houston joins us live outside with more. Kennedy?
Thanks, guys. Currently, it is 69 degrees, and you can see that today with the sunshine pouring down from the sky. It feels like 67, and the wind speed is 10 miles per hour. You can see that again. The wind is going through the trees. It looks so beautiful today, and the humidity is 73%. It's such a beautiful day today. It's a beautiful fall day. It feels like summer. Honestly, it's a little concerning, but it's such a great feeling.
Thanks, Kennedy. Mark your calendars because it's only a few days away from Halloween. Our Mornings on the Hill reporter Sydney Staples joins us now in studio to tell us about an elementary school's tradition surrounding it.
While the holiday is usually a favorite among students, it's being canceled in schools across the country. While some want their kids to have fun, other parents and school officials want to do away with celebrating holidays altogether because of a lack of inclusivity and ongoing school violence. But for Salem Hyde Elementary, celebrating it is a long-standing tradition.
The holiday is usually a favorite among students. It's being canceled in schools across the country. While some want their kids to have fun, other parents and school officials want to do away with celebrating holidays altogether because of a lack of inclusivity and ongoing school violence. But for Salem Hyde Elementary, celebrating is a long-standing tradition.
This is my 4th school year here, and when I got here, I was told by multiple people how popular Halloween was and how beloved the Halloween parade was, and how many parents came out to see their students, their children, in their costumes. And so, because it was such a popular tradition, I just kept it going, and the children love it, and the families love it, and the staff love it.
This school has celebrated Halloween for over 25 years, and one student hopes to create a tradition of her own.
Every 10 years I'm going to be Marie Antoinette, just like it was for my very first Halloween.
Decorations line both the hallways and classrooms to get into the spooky spirit, and they even have a parade to celebrate. Students will change into their costumes later on in the day to minimize distractions, and those with different beliefs or cultures have the option to not participate.
We've moved the parade towards the end of the day so that there can be as much learning as you can on Halloween.
The only thing that canceled Halloween at Salem Hyde Elementary was the pandemic, and they plan to keep it that way.
For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Sydney Staples. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Sydney. Coming up on Mornings on the Hill, the best calzones in the country are closer than you think.
And voting season is upon us. Find out how you can vote early when we come back.
Welcome back to Mornings on the Hill. A local owner of a Syracuse pizza restaurant won the National Calzone competition this year.
Our Mornings on the Hill reporter Jeremy Lins joins us now in studio to discuss the win for this business owner. Jeremy?
Thanks, guys. The owner of Peppino's Restaurant and Catering, John Vigliotti, came in first place out of 25 contestants at the pizza and calzone competition that took place this year in Atlantic City in New Jersey.
Peppino's is receiving recognition after owner John Vigliotti won the World Calzone Championship. Peppino sells pizza, calzones, strombolis, wings, appetizers, salads, pastas, and entrees, among other things. Vigliotti has entered competitions before, but he was very confident in the fact that he was going to win this competition, and he did. Vigliotti intended initially to enter for the pizza competition, but that was full, so he saw that there was an opening space in the calzone contest, and he decided to enter that.
Any of these expo competitions, you really need to bring your A game, as all of them are very talented and creative.
Vigliotti decided to enter the competition with his primo posto calzone. Primo posto translates to mean first place in Italian. The calzone is filled with ricotta and mozzarella cheeses, Italian sausage, and pistachio pesto. And on top, it's topped with crushed tomatoes and mozzarella cheese and a pistachio pesto drizzle on top with other pistachio nuts. I'm here at Pepino's and I'm about to try the calzone. I'm very excited and I hope it tastes good. This is the calzone itself and I'm really excited to dive in and try this. Here it is. That's really good. I would definitely rate this calzone like a 9 or a 10 out of 10. The flavors of the cheeses and sausage mixed with tomatoes, pistachios, and pesto is a combination that is one of my favorites. This may sound like an ad, but I have to give first place its credit. Reporting live from the studio, I'm Jeremy Lynch for Mornings on the Hill.
Thanks, Jeremy. Now time to check your weather for today, and I gotta say the heat has gotta be the highlight for me.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's going to stay longer than it's supposed to because it seems like it's going to get a little colder now.
Now, Mornings on the Hill weather anchor Kennedy Houston is in the studio with your full look at the weather forecast. Kennedy?
Hi, everyone. So right now, the record high is 72 degrees and the record low for today is 46 degrees. You can see the average high is 56.4 and the average low is 39.1. And of course, the record high of all time for today is 78 and the record low is 24. Moving on to our hourly forecast, you can see that at 1 p.m. it'll be 71 degrees and at 3 p.m. it'll be 73 degrees. Moving on later into the day at 5 p.m., you can see that it'll be 70 degrees, and of course by 9 p.m. it'll get a little cooler and go down to 62 degrees. Moving on to the regional temperature graphic, you can see that in Syracuse, it is 69 degrees today as of this moment, and we have some similar temperatures happening in Watertown and Fulton. You can also see that right now it is 59 degrees in Buffalo and Rochester, 58 degrees. Currently in Albany, it is 63 degrees. Now for the 5-day forecast, we currently are at 52 degrees for the high tomorrow and a low of 34 degrees with 0 precipitation. As a matter of fact, it'll be 0 precipitation for the next 4 days. But coming in on Monday, it'll be at 50% precipitation with a high of 61 degrees Fahrenheit and a low of 52 degrees Fahrenheit. Back to you.
Thanks, Kennedy. A notorious apartment building in Syracuse is now at the center of a major lawsuit. The state attorney general's office is suing the landlord of the Skyline apartment building in Syracuse for $300,000.
One of the landlords is Syracuse University alum Tim Green. Green also played football for Syracuse and in the NFL. His company owns the Skyline, which has been cited for repeated code violations and has been the scene of horrific crime, including the murder of a 93-year-old resident of the building.
Election Day is right around the corner on November 8th, but don't forget, you can cast your ballot early. Here in Onondaga County, polls open starting Saturday, October 29th until Sunday, November 6th. Check the website voteearlyny.org for information on where you can vote in the New York State.
Coming up on Mornings on the Hill, Syracuse basketball has won their season opener. Our sports anchor, Maddie Munson, will have the latest when we come back.
Good morning, I'm Maddie Mushton with your Orange Sports Update. Basketball season has officially begun in Syracuse, and the Orange started it off with a win. Syracuse faced off against Indiana University of Pennsylvania in an exhibition matchup last night. With a young team consisting of 6 freshmen, the Orange struggled to find their stride in the first half. The team had 10 turnovers while also dealing with the challenge of a new defense. Syracuse was trailing by 1 heading into the locker room at halftime, but came out strong in the last half of the game. After being down by 5 with 12 minutes left in the game, the Orange scored 14 unanswered points. Sophomore forward Benny Williams was a big part of that stretch, scoring 7 of the 14 points. Williams made the difference in the game overall, shooting 62% in the paint and racking up 12 rebounds. Freshman guard Judah Mintz also stood out in the lineup with 14 points in the 86-68 win over IUP. Seniors Joe Girard III and Jesse Edwards led the Orange with 17 and 16 points in the game. Head coach Jim Boeheim is confident that the team will find their stride heading into their next exhibition game against Southern New Hampshire University on November 1st. Syracuse football takes on Notre Dame back at home this weekend. Our Elena Lucido is in the studio this morning with exclusive player interviews before this weekend's sold-out matchup.
Yesterday, I had the chance to interview some of the players on the SU football team. They gave their thoughts on the Clemson game and where it went wrong. They also shared their excitement for playing Notre Dame at home this week.
As soon as I scooped it, I was like, I haven't scored a touchdown since high school playing receiver, so I was like, it's my opportunity. Like, I have to get in the end zone. So I just was running, and I actually was looking in the jumbotron to see if anybody was behind me, and luckily I didn't see anybody, so just walked it in. Just making sure, like, no matter what the outcome is, like, we got to always stick together and, like, got to put that game behind us. Like, don't take it as a loss necessarily. It's just a lesson. We got to just come out strong the next game.
Just, reducing the amount of pressure, because I feel like Garrett, he was out there. I think, in the second half, there was a lot of pressures on him. So we just got to reduce that and, convert on first down. That also help us. Stay ahead of the chains, because when you play backwards, that's when they can get after the quarterback.
Dome is like no other, definitely. But it's different, playing outside. You really get college, like football experience when you're outside. But like the Dome, number one on my list for sure.
And I've watched Notre Dame in 2018 beat Syracuse. Ever since then, I don't really like Notre Dame. I played them in 2020 and we lost in South Bend. And hopefully, the outcome is going to be different this weekend. And they, like I said, they got a great defense. So I really got to come in with my A game.
I feel like for us being on defense and being at Clemson, it's a little quieter because they're going to be quiet for their offense. But the dome is unmatched. For us being on the field is way louder because, like I heard somebody say before, it's like a drum being inside there, just all the noise just bouncing inside. But the dome is definitely better, I feel like. Keep on coming. Don't just think about that one loss. We got so much more to do. We're going to keep winning for y'all.
Tickets are already sold out for the game on Saturday against Notre Dame. This is the first time the Dome has sold out twice in a regular season in more than 2 decades. The team is asking you to wear orange to the Dome to make sure you wear your best orange attire to support the team. Kickoff is at noon in the JMA Wireless Dome. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Elena Lucido.
Still to come here on Mornings on the Hill, Taylor Swift has released a new album.
And Beyonce is going back on tour. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Mornings on the Hill. Beyonce is going back on tour.
Our Mornings on the Hill entertainment reporter, Jayla Pettis, joins us now with more.
Thanks, guys. Beehive fans, keep calm. Beyonce confirmed she is going on a Renaissance World Tour in the summer of 2023. The news was shared on October 22nd during the 5th annual Wearable Art Gala. The charity auction raffled a unique experience to see Beyonce on tour. The experience includes 2 concert tickets, a guided backstage tour, first-class plane tickets, and a 3-night hotel stay. Bids reached at least $50,000 and the package auctioned for $150,000. Beyonce announced her Renaissance album in July of this year on Instagram, and she shared the news of her upcoming tour during a slideshow at the gala. In other news, Taylor Swift just released her 10th studio album on the 21st of this month. Within the first 3 days of its release, Midnights has become the top-selling album of 2022. The soundtrack features 13 songs, and they explain the stories of 13 sleepless nights scattered throughout her life. Taylor Swift shared, "This is a collection of music written in the middle of the night, a journey through terrors and sweet dreams, the floors we pace and the demons we face. For all of us who have tossed and turned and decided to keep lanterns lit and go searching, hoping that just maybe, when the clock strikes 12, we'll meet ourselves." R. Kennedy Houston and Maddie Mushkin joins me to talk all things Renaissance and Midnights. So Maddie and Kennedy, I want to know your top song on the albums and why do you like them?
So I personally haven't listened to the Beyonce one yet, but I have been listening to Midnights probably since she released it on repeat. I think that Karma is my #1 song, followed closely by Mastermind probably.
Okay. Kennedy?
So for me, it's the opposite. I have not listened to Taylor Swift yet, but I have been listening to Beyonce. I listen to that album at least twice a week, I feel like. I love every song on the album. My favorite is probably Heated. Alien Superstar makes me feel like Venus, that painting, Venus coming out of the ocean with the sea foam. That's how I feel when I listen to Alien Superstar, so I love it.
So I haven't listened to Taylor Swift's album, but I have listened to Beyonce's, and I think Cuff It has to be my favorite song on the album.
Yeah, it's a feel-good anthem. It just makes you feel like you want to be with your family at like a cookout in the summer. It just feels so warm and loving.
Thank you.
And coming up in just a few days is the beloved Halloween weekend. And we've got some photos here from some of our staff's Halloween costumes. Let's take a look. And there are some of our costumes. That was, I guess, Miss USA. That's Maddie in Miss USA.
Gotta love it. Very cute. Okay, there we go. Oh, I gotta ask.
And this is Sydney's costume. Wow, I don't even know what this costume is.
Oh,
this is
Steelers.
It's the Steelers costume.
Yeah.
Okay, I should have been more creative
Mike
when I
Tomlin,
was younger for
I'm
costumes.
guessing? Is she Mike Tomlin in this?
Potentially.
Might be Mike Tomlin.
Oh wow, look at Kibby's. Oh wow, do the roar.
That's
wow.
Shout
That's
out our IA
definitely
for that.
number
Beautiful,
one.
beautiful. That is spot on.
Oh, Michaels. I mean, Yankees #1. It's a little unfortunate over the past week. I got to work on my Halloween costume, I think.
I've had some doozies in the past, but that is going to do it for us here this Wednesday on Mornings on the Hill. I'm Sammy. Follow us on social media.
And I'm Zach Richter. Thanks for watching Orange Nation. We'll see you next Wednesday, live at 10 a.m. right here on OTM.